welcome back to the Renatus J.A.M. My name is Jay Stark, and with me, as always, my fearless co-host,
Matt Snyder.
Mr. Matt Snyder. I may have watched a little bit of boxing this week.
I was just going to say, I like that, man. That was that.
Welcome to the main event.
What's his name? The Bruce Buffer with the UFC, right?
Right.
Like, yes. I love it, man.
Yeah, I watched a couple of boxing shows and different things over this past weekend.
That's cool. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I watched Megamind last night.
Nice.
Okay, so that movie is freaking awesome. Like, I was glued to it. For reals. I turned it on for my kids, sat through the whole thing.
Metrocity.
Like, this is awesome.
That's all I have to say.
Yes.
Metrocity.
So, I mean, if you're bored and sitting in quarantine.
Have you never seen Megamind?
I'd never seen it.
It's got Brad Pitt.
It's got everybody. Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell, Tina Fey. It's got everybody.
Bunch of people. That's a
Those
hilarious
are all the people.
movie.
Yeah.
Super funny.
That's why I liked it. I was like, this is hilarious. Anyways, so didn't mean to,
I haven't heard of
us
it.
too far there. So.
Hey, you're not supposed to jump out yet. We're getting to you in a second. So, please pardon that interruption, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of a technical snafu. What episode are we on, Mr. Peterson?
This is 29, possibly 30, but I'm pretty sure it's 29.
Wow. I can't believe that.
29.
Wow.
We're about to leave our 20s.
We are.
We're about to hit the 30s.
We are. Man, we're
we are rocking and rolling.
We can no longer claim our beginner status, I guess. Like, when I screw up, I can't say that I'm brand new at this.
Here's what we do. We're going to start, instead of, episode 30, 31, 32, we're going to have, it's the first anniversary of our 29th episode.
There you go.
And the second anniversary and the third. I've heard that's how this works.
That's how that works.
I'm pretty sure, and I hope she never watches this, but I'm pretty sure my sister at one point in time had her children convinced that she never aged past the age of 29.
I've heard that too, actually.
I hope she never watches this, and if she does, love you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, Mr. Snyder, what's new and exciting, my friend?
New and exciting. Man. Lots of stuff that I can't talk about on this podcast. Because,
what?
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Fun, exciting stuff that we're doing here in Renatus Corporate.
That is not fair of you.
It's not, but, it'll make things awesome.
You're killing me.
That's all I'm going to say.
You're killing me.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Other than that, what's good, man?
You know what?
We got,
we
got Thanksgiving coming up.
I was going to say, I should really, at this point in our venture, express gratitude, right? This is, especially this week, is the perfect week to give thanks. So let me express gratitude not only for our wildly cult-like following of followers that follow us on this journey, but also to you, Matt. You freaking rock, man. I love working with you. I love being able to work side by side with you. I love what we create together, and this would not be nearly as much fun nor possible without you.
Man, thank you, Jay. I feel the same way. You know it.
Hashtag give thanks.
Yes. So, yes, I'm sure everybody in Renatus has probably had the opportunity to see. I've actually seen some people who I know are not LDS putting up posts and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag give thanks. And I think it's wonderful.
I think it's wonderful, too.
Because, I think I've said it, I don't know, not on here, but, I learned many years ago the importance of giving thanks, the importance of gratitude, and what that can do for your mental health. You start to focus on what you do have and not what you don't have, right?
Yeah.
And it really is a huge shift emotionally. So
it is.
I give thanks every day.
Nice.
I really do. And you just, you got to think about like the fact that like we live in a day and age where there's medical science or antibiotics. How many of you would be dead right now if it wasn't for a round of antibiotics at some point in your life? I I know that for me, that was like 6 years ago. I had a sinus infection that I had to get surgery on because actually the antibiotics couldn't even, it was bad news, but I'm grateful for, anesthesia and doctors that know what they're doing. I mean, if I lived 100 years ago, I would have died from a stupid infection.
If you lived 100 years ago, you would no longer be alive.
Yes. Well, if I lived 100 years ago, I would have never made it into my 30s. So,
nice. And now as a podcast group, we're about to hit our 30s.
That's right. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you, Jay.
Nice.
I'm grateful. I'm even grateful for you, Aaron.
Thank you. That's one person. Now I need to just get the rest. Thank you.
You only need my
I'm just
gratitude.
kidding, Jay. I know
Yeah.
you. I know you're grateful. I'm grateful for you guys too. This is always fun. So
Right on, man.
This is the part where I do wink, wink, finger guns.
yeah. I got a look from Jay that's like, you better say it.
What? You. So make sure wherever you are that this week and at all times, this week is just a great reminder, but it's good for you always to express gratitude to the people that are around you, to any kind of a higher being that you look toward. Express gratitude. It does your body good. It does the world around you good.
Sure does.
So
absolutely.
Right on. Well,
absolutely.
Speaking of doing the world,
who are we having on?
A little bit of good. I think it's time that we introduce. See, I've been watching Top Gear lately too. Have you ever watched Top Gear?
Yeah, Matt LeBlanc.
No.
Wrong show?
No, that's the right show.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure
that's the wrong time to watch it.
Pretty sure that's.
So I apologize for anybody out there that ever watched Top Gear or has watched Top Gear that appreciates either the American edition of it or the edition with Matt LeBlanc and his band of goofballs. No. I'm talking back, British UK Top Gear with Richard Hammond and Jeremy Clarkson, thank you, and James May. That's one. Anyway,
can't say
every
I have,
time
Jay.
they introduce the Stig,
yes,
they always start with "Some say." So here we go. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm going to introduce our featured guest.
Here we
today,
go.
Stig style.
All right.
Some say that his tears are pure compassion. Some people say that his insides are nothing but fluff and loving jelly donuts. Some say that not even the Rona can stop him. Welcome to the show, Mr. Bob Tierney.
Oh, hey, Bob. That was awesome.
Oh, I have no idea what I got myself into, but here I am.
Oh man, Mr. Tierney, we are honored to have you on the show. I'm going to tell you a quick story. You ready for this? You may not remember this, but it stood out to me. During the very first national conference, you walked up to me and you said, "You're Jay, right?" And I said, "I am. You're Bob." And, we kind of talked for a minute. And then you said, "We are going to absolutely kill this thing." And here we are a decade later. Killing this thing.
Yes, we are. It's been an awesome ride.
Right on.
Sure has.
So tell me just, for anybody that's never had a chance to interface with you, tell us just real quick, how did you get into Renatus?
You know what? It started when I was about 19, and I had lost a job at a factory, and I'd had a couple of those, and got a job offer to work on a construction site as a laborer building decks, and took it. And I got to work outside for the first time. I had been working in factories for a couple of years, and ended up getting another job in construction in a city called Oak Park, known for Frank Lloyd Wright's home and studio outside of Chicago, and bunch of Victorians, a lot of houses built at the turn of the century. I fell in love with the architecture, and I fell in love with construction, and just started, the opportunity of get to working on houses, and I ended up moving to Oak Park in 1995. And I put myself through college at DePaul University while doing construction work, and just had a chance to learn from some really talented craftsmen. And I had the idea that someday I'm going to buy houses. Someday I'm going to be a real estate investor, and got a chance to work for a real estate investor who we rehabbed 5 houses together, and the 5th one he bought for like 300,000 and rehabbed it, and it appraised for 850,000, and he moved him and his family into it, and he and I were the same age. And I thought to myself, this guy and I are the same age. He's moving into an $850,000 house, and I can't afford to buy a new truck. Something's wrong with this picture. So just, it was kind of the experience of life of witnessing other people make money in real estate and working for them, working with them. That really inspired me to want to start just looking and seeking opportunities.
Nice. Right on. So when you first found Renatus, what was your experience like as far as being able to understand the tools that were available to you and how you could change your own life with them?
Well, I had gone to a bunch of real estate things. I had gone to something called the Learning Annex, where they had all these real estate speakers over a 4-day period. I watched people walking out with shopping bags full of books and tapes and CDs and stuff. I had gone to some RIA clubs and felt like every month that I went, they tried to sell me something new. I'd been to a couple guru programs where, they said they were going to teach me something about real estate for 3 days. And I bought a 3-day boot camp, and they ended up trying to sell me a $50,000 real estate program that weekend. And the industry felt kind of scammy.
Right.
And, when I answered an ad, there was an ad, and I answered it, and the guy called me back and invited me to a hotel. I was instantly skeptical, just like anybody else would be, especially I'm born and raised in Chicagoland, and I've seen every crazy thing come through this city. But, I blew the guy off. I said, "Oh yeah, it sounds good. I'll stop by when I can." And he followed up with me, left me a couple voice messages. And so that was a little different. And then when I finally called him back, I was driving home from work, and he says, "Hey, there's this meeting." And he, I was literally coming home from work, and he goes, "Where are you at?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm on 90, this highway in Chicago." He goes, "Are you anywhere near Harlem and or anywhere near Cumberland?" And I was at Harlem, and Cumberland was the next stop. And he's like, "Get off the road. You got to stop by this meeting." And I said, I'm in my work clothes. Like I'm completely not, it's not appropriate.
Right.
I got plaster in my hair. And he goes, "I don't care what you look like. Change in the bathroom, spruce yourself up, do what you got to do, but you can't miss this." And something in his voice, it seemed a little bit more real. And I'm like, "You're not going to try to sell me anything." And he's like, "Leave your checkbook and credit card in the car." He goes, "This isn't about that." He goes, "I want you to come meet the group. I want you to meet some people. I'll have somebody meet you at the door." And it was a little bit different experience than any other real estate thing that I'd ever been to. And I went and saw the presentation, and the guy on stage had properties. He owned rental properties. And that was a little bit different too. Most of the gurus I had met, they weren't talking about their real estate deals. And so I got to meet some people who had actually were doing real estate. They were local. They lived near me. And that was my very first impression was, wow, this is a group that's a little bit different. And they said, "Yeah, we have this meeting every week. Come on back next week." And so, that was one of the things that for me was different. An opportunity to work with local people, an opportunity to get to know other real estate people, other like-minded individuals, people that were in the group already that were doing real estate deals. And, I got invited to my first real estate workshop. I got invited to my first property tour. And the guy that invited me was just, he was just so real, so authentic, so sincere. And I could tell that this was a different group and program than anything else I'd ever seen.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Here you are all of these years later. So have you started working on some of your own properties?
Well, so in January, it'll be 15 years since the fateful day where I answered that ad. And I just got married. So my wedding anniversary is tomorrow. My 15th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long have you been married? What did you say?
15 years.
15 years. Congratulations.
So Beth and I got married on November 25th of 2005. And then I saw the ad in January of 2006. So literally 5 weeks, 6 weeks after I got married, I saw this sign, and it ended up calling, and that's how I found out about it. And guys, I got married. I spent every penny I had on the wedding. I could not afford to take my wife on a honeymoon, and I promised her someday I would, but right now we just couldn't afford it. So when people come in, they're like, "Oh, I don't have any money," or guys, I had my credit score was in the 400s. I had no money left. Yeah, I was in bad shape.
Possible.
You got to work pretty hard to get it that low. Yeah. You can't just stop paying bills.
You got to be strategic. You can't just not pay bills. You got to be strategic.
So literally I was starting new marriage. My wife and I bought a house together. Well, she got an inheritance from her father when he passed, and she bought the house in her name because my credit was so bad I couldn't be on the mortgage. That's the truth about how that happened. And then here's one thing that the guy that brought me in, Chad, said to me. He says, "I don't care how much money you have in your bank account. I don't care what your credit score is." He goes, "Get started." And he goes, "I don't even care where you get started. Just that you get started. Wherever you get started is fine with me. I'm gonna love you anyway, or I'm gonna support you anyway. I'm gonna, be here to help you no matter what you choose." And that really, guys, if I could put my finger on one thing that made the difference by why I decided this program, was because of what he told me. And it took me until April. So I met him in January. I went to my first meeting in February. I got to meet Bob Snyder in March of 2006 at an event, a regional training. And then after the experiences that I had at the real estate workshop, the first real estate workshop I ever saw was short sales. And I had never heard of a short sale. And you want to talk about an experience that was upsetting? Going to a real estate workshop after going to DePaul University for 5 years and hearing about short sales for the first time in my life, hearing about self-directed retirement plans for the first time in my life, hearing about the opportunity to build credit inside of a corporation for the first time in my life. And I had gone to college from 95 to 2000. I studied entrepreneurship strategy and computer science. I had a dual major and a minor in psychology. And I sat there in this real estate workshop in about 3 hours. And I turned to my wife and I said to her, because she had come with me, I said, "How many other things do wealthy people know that we don't?" It's like one of those experiences of life where, like, why is all this stuff secret? I'm 36 years old. This was at that time, 36 years old. I've never heard of this, never heard of this, never heard of this, never heard of this. And it was one of those epiphanies that I just didn't know what I didn't know. And it was the experience of the real estate workshop that really, I looked at my wife and I said, "I really want to do this." And she says, because she was more skeptical than I, she goes, "If you want to learn real estate, go to the library. The books are free." And I said, "Well, if it was that easy, you just go to the library and read a book, then why isn't everybody a millionaire? There has to be more to it than that." And so we went back and forth a little bit. And I said, I really want to do this. I'm gonna do the beginning course. And so I made the decision, and it took me until April to save up the down payment for the beginning course. But I bought it in April, the beginning course. At that, it was a little bit different pricing wise and stuff back then, but that's how I got started.
Nice.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever heard that story in its entirety. That's amazing.
I don't think I have either.
That's pretty awesome. Well, so fast forward to today. Now you are a PAC member, President Advisory Council member. You are a team leader. You are a seasoned real estate investor. What advice would today you give 15 years ago you?
I give myself the advice that my mentor gave me, because the advice that my mentor gave me is what worked. And first one is, as an entrepreneur, be open-minded. I was, when I first heard about real estate, I wanted to do real estate. I was doing construction. I had a construction business. I had experience in that. So I had my blinders on around how I was going to make money in real estate. And my mentor said, I understand that's what you want. He goes, but I want you to consider that people that are real successful and people that make a lot of money in the world, they have multiple revenue streams and they make money doing what they already do in more than one way. And he goes, and as you learn and grow as a real estate investor, you're going to be able to, inspire other people to want to learn real estate too. A, and B, to really build a successful real estate investment business, you have to be around people that have the same experience and talent and skill sets as you do. As a real estate investor, what do you need fundamentally? I need real estate deals. Well, how do I get people to do real estate with me? Well, teach people how to be bird dogs, right? Build credibility and relationships with people that have friends and family that then bring their real estate deals to me because they get to know me as somebody that can do that. And so, as the Renatus philosophy, if you will, kind of unveiled itself to me, I started to see the real estate education program as a way to help me build my real estate investment company. Because if I need bird dogs, I can train them. If I need money, right? People need money to do real estate. You don't need your own money, but you need somebody's money. So what is the best way to find people to lend money to you? Train people how to become lenders. And so, one of the things I love about the Renatus Essentials course is there's tax and legal strategies classes. And then there's a class on credit management, which can help people with their credit. And then there's a class on self-directed IRA and 401ks. There are $28 trillion in retirement accounts in the United States of America. That's where the money is held in people's IRAs and 401ks. And the volatility of the stock market is upsetting to anybody. I mean, when COVID hit, the stock market lost 36% of its value in 1 week. And so people see that, they say, you know what, I'd like an opportunity to, maybe diversify my portfolio a little bit. Well, in the beginning course, in a self-directed IRA and 401k class, people can learn how to take some of their money in a 401k or an IRA, or maybe they have it with an old company, and they can transfer that money from a traditional custodian to a self-directed custodian. And all of a sudden they can get checkbook control of their retirement accounts and become lenders. They can become partners in real estate deals with you. And so I love as a marketer, if you will, of real estate investment education. One of the ways that I used that, especially used it in the beginning, was to help build a team of people that were being trained in the same program as I was being trained, learning how to have conversations with distressed sellers, learning how to find off-market properties, learning how to self-direct retirement plans, learning how to repair credit and eventually build business credit with some of the higher level classes. The education program really helped us to build the community of people around us that then helped us to do real estate deals.
Wow.
Nice.
All right. So being open-minded. So that advice you had asked me about my mentor, being open-minded about how I was going to make money. A second aspect of that, it takes time to become a real estate investor, just like it takes time to become an accountant, just like it takes time to become an attorney, just like it takes time to become a knee surgeon, right? It takes time. And people have unrealistic expectations of how much time it's going to take to do a real estate deal because the gurus and other people out there sell it that it's a 3-day boot camp and you're making money in real estate. That's actually dangerous, right? Taking title to a property is a responsibility that until you're ready for it, you shouldn't do it. Or you shouldn't jump into something that you can end up getting hurt on or lose money on, very quickly. And so when I first got started and I started to take the classes and started to have the experience of the quality and the caliber of the education, I started sharing what I was learning with other people. And then as a marketing affiliate, I got to make a little bit of money. So my very first check after I bought my education in April was in June. And it wasn't a lot. It was like $400. It was a good opportunity for me to go to my wife and say, I told you so. I knew I was going to make money with it.
Nice.
But that $400 check paid for the gas to get to and from the meetings, right? It helped pay for, the payments on my education, which, I had only put the down payment. So I had a bill I had to pay. Yeah. And then as I started earning a little bit of money in the earnings plan, that started to give me a little bit more confidence. I could spend a little bit more time with the education. And then in July of that year, I had felt that I'd gotten so much value in the beginning course that I decided to upgrade. And they didn't have any of the programs that they have today with billing or, getting money for our students like we do today. But I borrowed $11,000 from my sister, and I actually bought my top package that time. And that made all the difference in the world. Once I got from the beginning courses of tax and legal strategies and the fundamentals of real estate, and I started getting into, what's market analysis, how to fix and flip, how to buy and hold, how to do the analysis on those deals. That started giving me the confidence. And I ended up in September of that first year doing my very first real estate deal. And I partnered with somebody I'd met in the group. That was another aspect of being a part of Renatus that in my heart was really valuable. I met somebody else. They bought the house. I did the construction. We split the profits on that real estate deal 50-50. And, my share of the profit was actually a little bit more than the entire education program cost. Another, I told you so for my wife. That was a great one.
Right. You got to celebrate those small victories, man.
I had to. And so that first real estate deal was September. And I want to add one little piece, because this is a great one for all of you listening out there. That first real estate deal, I had some people that were answering my ads around our business, and they were super skeptical. And so I'm like, you know what? Why don't you come out and tour the property? Come out and see the house. And I'm putting in new granite countertops. I actually went to a place called HO, which stands for Homeowners Buyers Outlet. It was a place to get cheap materials. Bought dollar granite tile. I literally tiled the granite countertops. Looked beautiful. Put the backsplash in. We painted the cabinets. It was not a really high-end rehab. We did what we could. And pleasure of working from home. That's my puppy. Sorry about that. Now I got all these people that were skeptical about real estate investing, about our group and program. They're coming out and seeing the property, and they're like, how much did you buy this for? How did you raise the capital? And we're going through all the deal. And we had a few people that were inspired to join the program because of the real estate deal that we were doing. So not only did I make, 20-something thousand on the real estate deal, then we added in the commissions that we had made, in the next couple of months. I ended up making like $38,700 in the month of November as a marketing affiliate because of using the real estate deal as a property tour opportunity to showcase what it is that we were doing. And, if I were to put my finger on the difference between Renatus and the other groups out there, is that the students of Renatus that actually take the classes and start doing real estate, they're the real deal, and if I'm a buyer of real estate education, do I want to work with people who are really doing real estate deals, or work with some guru that's got videos on YouTube that I never get to actually meet in person?
Nice.
So that was
right.
That was some of the.
I love that.
I'm sorry, Matt.
No, let me ask you this question. Would you say that you are typical?
No.
So would you say that the results that you've been able to create are typical?
I would not say they're typical. And can I share why?
Absolutely.
Because I think that's an important distinction. Guys, when I joined, I had just got married. My credit score had been shot for years and years. My wife loved me with all of her heart and didn't care what my credit score was or how much money I made. And I finally had gotten to the point where I was making good money in construction, but I struggled for a lot of years. And every extra dollar I had, I spent on tools, for my construction business. And so, we bought a house that needed rehabbing, and for it to be rehabbed properly, it was going to require a lot of money. And so I really had something to prove when I started. Plus, my wife was super skeptical, so I couldn't make her wrong. I couldn't make her right. Like I had to prove that I was going to do this. And then I borrowed $11,000 from my sister. It's not like borrowing money from the bank. Like, I love my sister. I want to go see my nephews. I want Thanksgiving and Christmas to not be weird or awkward. I kind of pay her back. And so I had a huge hurdle that first year. When you invest $20,000 into something and you got everybody in your life around you looking at you like, did you make a right decision? Man, I dug deep. I worked hard. And that's the only, I look at my success and compared to some of the other people's. I had something to prove. I couldn't fail. I had to make the money back. I had to pay my sister back. And I needed to prove to myself at 36 years old that I wasn't, a loser, that I because having bad credit and the struggles of money all those years, it was really something to prove. And so, A and B, I felt like I got more in 6 months out of these classes, out of these educators, about how to make money and how to create a business and how to become successful than I felt like I did in 5 years at a traditional college. I don't regret my education, my education at DePaul. I don't regret it. I did leave out of there with a student loan that I couldn't afford to pay back that grew from $50,000 to $80,000 in arrears. But when I started taking these classes, I really felt that the educators that Bob Sider had chosen were the real deal, and I just got to work, and that was what made all the difference.
Nice. So just to be clear, results not typical, all that fun stuff. Here's a couple of points that I took away from some of the advice you might give yourself as you were getting started. First one is to make sure that you look forward to having multiple streams of income. Always associate yourself with like-minded individuals that are going to build you up and inspire you and encourage you. You have to be open-minded. You have to be patient. Then you have to get to work, and you have to work hard.
Gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took the education classes because I drove a work truck every day, and I burned CDs. So I would download the MP3s and I burned CDs. I had a 6 CD changer in my truck, and I put the education in the truck. And I stopped listening to the radio. I used to listen to the news. I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh and all the speakers on WLS AM 890. I could name them all. That was the only one I even remember today. And after listening about maybe 5 or 6 months after buying my education and listening to real estate investment training every day, I was less depressed because I stopped listening to the constant negative news that's out there in the world. I'm now listening to people who are up to something, who are inspiring, who are doing something with their life and, sharing from their heart on how to make money in real estate and all the different various ways to build a business that helps people. I was inspired by the other people in the group. I remember Chad saying, you want to make a lot of money in this world, build a business that makes a difference. Build a business that makes a difference for humanity in some way. Build a business that helps people, build a business that solves problems, and you'll always have customers. And hearing that, day in, day out, hearing the ethics of the instructors and the perspective of how to build successful businesses, not by taking advantage of people, but by serving and helping, it really did change the way I think. And I'm so grateful for that. The instructors that Bob Sider brought to the table have really made a difference. And so listening to training every day, showing up to the meetings, like they had real estate workshops every quarter, never missed one. Then we moved to real estate workshops every month. I have never missed a real estate workshop since I started. Super Saturday trainings they have once a month. I've only missed 2. That's another piece of advice is make a declaration about what you're going to accomplish. I said, I will get 5-star qualified. I will make $10,000 a month as a marketing affiliate. And when you make a declaration and you just say, this is what I'm going to do, how you're going to do it doesn't matter because you're going to figure out a way. How long it takes to accomplish that goal doesn't matter because you're not going to stop until you accomplish that goal. So declaration and creation is the most powerful form of becoming successful. And so those are a couple of the declarations I made. I will be a real estate investor. I will build a rental portfolio. I will build a company that does short sale fix and flips. Like those were a lot of the declarations that I had created when I first got started. And then it was just, never miss a meeting, continue to move forward. And I just attended a real estate workshop this Saturday with Tony Scotti. Now, Tony was a student with me in classes back when I joined. I learned a whole bunch of stuff on Saturday. And he started off just like I did in these classes. And now he's an instructor. He teaches contract for deed and advanced velocity banking. He did a workshop for us on Saturday. I haven't spent any time with Tony in about that long since his last workshop that he did with us. And he was amazing. And I heard things on Saturday never heard before. So inspired to really step up my advanced velocity banking game and contract for deed real estate deals and opportunities. And so that's another aspect of becoming successful is committing and spending time with the people that have accomplished what it is that you want to accomplish. And that's one of the coolest things that Renatus has built and brought to the table.
Totally agree. Yeah. I like that the declaration. I think the big reason that it worked so well for you is not necessarily writing it down, but the intention. I mean, you wrote it down because you committed to it mentally. You were 100% in. You can write down goals and such, and if it doesn't mean anything to you, it's not going to mean anything on paper.
Right.
But when you've got that, you were both feet in, 100% committed. You were going to make it happen. You didn't know how, but you were going to make it happen, and you did.
Yeah, and the other epiphany is it's way more profitable to be a real estate investor with Renatus than it is to just be a real estate investor.
Yeah,
that was something because it's very difficult to create consistent revenue in real estate. Right. If I'm a fix and flipper, I'm only as wealthy as my next flip. If I'm a wholesaler, I'm only as wealthy as my next wholesale. And so I build a machine, a team of guys that do rehabs. I have to feed the machine.
Right.
Some projects take 4 months. Some projects take 6 months. Some projects takes a year. Some projects, man, we've had projects have a couple challenges and take a couple of years. And it's just, that's the nature of the real estate world.
Yeah.
Buy and hold. If I make $500 positive cash flow per property, I'm going to need 20 properties to positive cash flow $500 a month, and that's still not going to be quite enough to live a good life, especially in a city like Chicago. And it takes a few years to build a portfolio of real estate like that for the average person that comes in and tries it. And so when the epiphany was this combination, right? I'm going to do real estate and I'm going to be a Renatus marketing affiliate, and I'm going to bring those two worlds together. Right. And I'm going to have one business. The more real estate deals I do, the more people are going to want to work with me. And the more people that work with me, the more real estate deals that we do. And you start to see how those two worlds interact and serve each other. All of a sudden, it just brings so much clarity on why being a Renatus member and a real estate investor together just makes so much sense.
Man, I keep writing down more notes, more and more notes as you're talking. I'm loving hearing what you're sharing, and I wish that we could just talk to you all day long, my friend. This has been awesome. I absolutely love what you're sharing. I love how authentic you are. Back in the day, people used to tease me and you a little bit. They'd call you the king of the Criers Club, and I was the runner-up or something like that.
I think you got me beat these days, buddy.
Oh, man. I am an emotional man and not afraid to show that. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Tierney, it has been absolutely phenomenal to spend a few minutes with you. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for absolutely giving us your heart and sharing exactly what has helped you to create success in your life. That's been amazing.
Been an honor and privilege, guys. I love your show, and I'd love to come back someday.
Sounds like a plan. We will definitely have you back. On behalf of myself and Mr. Matt Snyder, this has been the Renatus J.A.M. We want to thank our producer, Mr. Aaron Peterson. And until the next time, never forget, Renatus rocks!